Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening, wherever you are in the cosmos. AJ Dodgestar, Intergalactic Mercenary. Yeah, to service. And it'll be an interesting one today, because I'm kind of splitting the stream in two. We're starting with Stories from Soul, the Gun Dog, because when we last played it, I think we were like right at the end. So this part might be very short. Which is why we'll then just switch over to Xenoblade if it is like super short. I feel like there's maybe an hour or two worth of like reading. Maybe, possibly. We will find out. I feel like we're probably at the epilogue. Rather than... Because last time felt like a climactic finale of a story almost. Almost. So it could be a little bit left, could be a good few hours left. I don't know. We will find out. Here we are, chapter 14. I've been trying to find if there's a chapter list somewhere, and I was like, I can't find one. But this feels like a... After, like, this feels like a... Probably a court-martial. It's probably figuring out what the hell happened on the ship. Probably a slight time skip from, you know, whatever happened after we vanished. Admiral Fairwater. Now that we're all here, we can begin. As was decided yesterday, this is to be the final day of the inquiry into the events that happened aboard the JCF Gundog between April 24th and April 28th. It's April 26th right now. Funny how that worked out. Our findings today will dictate the JCF's future action around the matter, as well as what is to be done with the ship's crew. This is definitely a court-martial or hearing of some kind. Guards, please bring in Miss Mary's Bartimeus to the stand. Welcome back, Miss Bartimeus. My pleasure, Admiral. No, Commodore Pettywin? Oh, Commodore Pettywin sounds... I don't know. Miss Bartimeus! Like, sounds even more uptight than the previous guy. Now, Miss Bartimeus, we've been going over everything that happened aboard the Gundog following its departure from this colony on April 19th up until the 24th. The last task of this inquiry is to find out what happened following Miss Lord's adjustment to the command structure up until your return to Europa 01. Ah, yes. Miss Lord's adjustment to the command structure. Or insubordination and mutiny. I hope she gets punished for that. I trust we'll have your full cooperation in this matter. Hasn't that already been demonstrated? And Commodore Rivers. Oh god, their third one? Yes or no, Miss Badmers? Yes, Commodore. Thank you. Trying to switch between three different voices. Probably that sound very similar. Now, we're aware of the efforts made by Lieutenant Dodgestar to counter Miss Lord's mutiny. How did he go about this? Chief! Didn't think Lieutenant had it in him, I'm being honest. Getting everyone to the bridge, calling out Lord to her face in front of the crew like that? Took some real guts. What did calling out Miss Lord involve? It was actually kind of funny. The lieutenant was just telling everyone how full of crap Lord was, how she locked up Quinn and Bartimeus without a good reason, of which you were complicit in, by the way. Anything Lord came back with, he just shot it down. It'd be funnier if figuring out her... Well, it'd be funnier if figuring her out didn't mean that I'd get put up against the wall for treason instead, but what are you gonna do? And the lieutenant managed to convince the entire crew that Miss Lord had been wrong. Pretty much, yeah. Still a little Jared Mesa. And then what happened? As soon as I put out the call for backup, Lieutenant Dodgestar came charging at the elevator doors. Not much help though. Just freaked out when he saw the Commander Quinn with whoever it was. Okay, sorry. I was in a bit of panic. He tried to get me to stop firing, but I didn't keep them pinned down. They'd got away for sure. Though we'd been able to do something when Hansen turned up, but the lieutenant knocked him down and then ran after whoever it was. So after the exchange of fire, the lieutenant chased the attacker into the hangar. You got it. I forgot I did voice for Haru. Why wasn't this infiltrator apprehended by security? Good question. It's not like we just let her go. The lieutenant screwed everything up, got in her way before we could take that woman down. He even tackled me to stop me from firing on them. When the lieutenant gave them a chance, they picked up Quinn and went for the hangar. After the lieutenant and this attacker entered the hangar, they both launched in separate crafts, is that right? Yeah, that's right. Why were they allowed to launch? It wasn't my fault! Vanessa. He deserves all of this. I did everything I could to stop them from launching, but none of my controls were responding. They must have hacked the system to override my authority or something. It's the only explanation. I bet they did it ahead of time. There was no way I could have known. Even if you had lost control of the system, we were under the impression that the hostile craft had been secured. Was this or was this not the case? Well, the thing is that, Cadet Grunge, can you answer the question? Why hadn't the craft been secured? That craft had been secured. Until it managed to break out. I'd bet my life that nothing could get through that Cadet Grunge's compound. The stuff was almost impenetrable. I'd be surprised if the team working on the Gundog right now has got anywhere near removing the cargo crates that were stuck in it. That stuff didn't stop it, then there was nothing else on the ship that could have. So the enemy craft was able to escape the restraining compound and leave the ship after the hangar controls were overridden. We can understand how it may have been difficult to do anything about that in the moment. But how was Lieutenant Dodgestar allowed to board and launch a Juno? Ooh, Haru just crushed her specs. Oh yeah, because I stole her there, Juno, didn't I? Hey, there was no way we could know the lieutenant was gonna go do something like that. Cruz was trying to get him to leave the hangar before it totally depressurized. Then out of nowhere, he jumped. Cruz tried to grab him, but the lieutenant was gone before he got anywhere near. Another glass of Flanagan. Surprised Lieutenant didn't just get sucked out in space, pulling a crazy stunt like that. And what happened after Lieutenant made his way into space? I mean, I was able to track him, and that weird thing after they launched, but they were moving so fast and so close together, I couldn't get a good lock on either of them. Lord was ordering me to take them both out. But before I could line up anything, Cruz was out there in Gundog 01. Do you know who gave Cruz permission to launch? Hey, no one gave me permission to launch. But you think I'm just gonna hang around and watch an amateur like Lieutenant Dodgestar get torn to pieces because he can't pilot a damn? He can't pilot worth a damn? Yeah, that makes sense. No way, Dodgestar showed some guts, and I wasn't gonna let him die after he finally grew a spine. I went out to get the lieutenant a little bit of help. So the two of you were able to defeat the enemy craft together. Of course, Cruz was able to take it out. What do you think? Wait, what do you think? We dragged back into our hangar for you guys? Wait, of course Cruz was able to take it out. What do you think we dragged back into our hangar for you guys? Wait, they managed to resecure it? Might be a few pieces, but those tech nerds love a challenge, right? But the lieutenant didn't return with you. Why not? Because he disappeared. That's why not. He sought out his friend and used him to cover his escape. The lieutenant and Quinn are probably off piloting against us right now. We're not here for speculation, Miss Lord. We're here for facts. You're confident they disappeared? They didn't disappear. Our records show that shortly after retrieving Lieutenant Commander Quinn, they were preparing to return to the Gundog when another enemy craft appeared. Gundog 01 was still busy with the original craft, and with a damaged Juno, the lieutenant was in no position to fight back. They definitely didn't disappear. It looked like a boson jump, if you ask me. Oh. Warp jump. That's what they're doing. A what? A boson jump, Commodore. You think about it. How our HFDD works by warping the space around the ship to allow it to move significant distances. Then a boson jump does something similar, but connects two unique points in space, letting a craft move directly from one point to another. All theoretical, of course. The energy requirement alone would... All right. Thank you, Chief Engineer Cathy's. But if you're able to detect indications of a space warp, even if it was non-standard, why did the Gundog not head out in pursuit? Well, see, that's when the power went out again. It was like that what happened on the 23rd with the Gundog and the O'Brien. If it'd been any closer, then the electromagnetic pulse could have overloaded our key systems and we'd all have been fried. Like the O'Brien. So the ship was immobilized. What did you do then? Guess I was lucky. Holding onto that trash machine must have shielded me or something. Once the lieutenant disappeared into the freaky light show, I dragged the wreckage back to the Gundog. We got the power back online and slunk it back here, tail between our legs. Who ordered the return to Europa 01? Miss Lord. Ha! Nope. That was Captain Barnamoo's doing. What happened to Miss Lord's assumed command? Turns out that when everyone was busy with what was happening outside the ship, Cadet Garage slipped away. Turns out when everyone was busy with what was happening outside the ship, Cadet Garage slipped away and let the captain out of her quarters. Ah, well done, Grange. Well done. She went up to the bridge, slapped Lord around a bit. The two were stuck up there, and the power went off again. Can't have been fun for Lord. A cadet told me later that she'd even dragged Lord down to her quarters and locked her in there herself. Oh, Barnabas, respect. Glad she didn't find me first, you know? After that, she rounded everyone up and told us we could either come back under her command or the chief would throw us out the airlock. Then and there. Didn't really seem like much of a choice. And Miss Lord, what happened to her after that? It was an abuse of power, plain and simple. I wasn't given the opportunity to state my case. There was no hearing. I was immediately confined to quarters. You mean exactly what you did to your captain? As soon as this inquiry is over, I want to open a grievance against Mary's Bartimeus. Thank you, Miss Lord, but at the moment, we just want to know if you're aware of what happened after you were confined. I'm sure you must have all the information you need on that. In the ship's logs, Commodore? For the benefit of the inquiry, Miss Bartimeus. From that point on, the Gundog's journey back to Europa 01 was uneventful and everything occurred as expected. We returned to the colony, immediately notified command of the craft in our hangar, and submitted my report on the events that had taken place since our departure. And here we are. Thank you, Ms. Bottomers. The inquiry will be adjourning while we go over our findings. You will be notified as soon as we have come to an agreement on our verdict. Guards, please escort Ms. Bottomers back to the holding cells. Everyone's been arrested because they're like, what the frick? With the exception of some spurious accusations from Ms. Lord, it seems that the crew are all giving relatively consistent testimonies. What do you think, Admiral? Losing someone like Cassandra Quinn is a catastrophe. She was only a lieutenant commander, but she worked on a multitude of different ships, bases, and installations. In terms of our institutional and process knowledge, if she was interrogated, there's no saying just how much the enemy would be able to learn from her. They might already have done that. We've been getting reports of attacks on various frontier outposts with similar patterns to what happened to the Gundog. Loss of power, sudden illness among the command structure, attackers appearing out of nowhere. The list of officers we've lost is already too long. Female officers. I don't know how to say it that way. Nanny. Captain. Just something I noted, Admiral. All the officers missing are women. Whatever is going on, we can't let it continue. The inquiry into the events aboard the JCF Gundog will now reconvene. Guards, please bring in Miss Bottomers. Welcome back, Miss Bottomers. Once again, pleasure, Admiral. We'll be brief. After reviewing the testimonies of you and the crew that served under you, as well as the ship's logs and recordings, we have come to a conclusion regarding your futures within the JCF. Mary's Bottomers, I am sure you understand the severity of the claims that have been levied against you, as well as the punishment for losing command of your vessel. However, as our investigation into Miss Lord's actions is still ongoing, this means that it is necessary for us to fully review the actions you have taken in more detail. For now, you will be placed under house arrest, the duration of the investigation. Of course. With regards to Hansen Cruz, while participating in a mutiny, you should be dishonorably discharged and facing a minimum of 10 years in prison. However, due to your performance in combat and experience with these new enemy machines, you will be serving as a pilot in a new task force. You got promotion. This role is non-negotiable. In addition, you will be kept under supervision and your time as part of the task force is in lieu of time served. So he's going to basically like, hey, you need to you're being stationed here, and that's it. This will also be the case for Haru Rumney. Hey, won't see me complaining. As for Chief Engineer Mackenzie Cathers, you are to be transferred to the JFS. Oh god, that's a difficult word. Silvestrius, where you will act as a Chief Engineer. I think everyone's getting a promotion. Basically, because everyone got sent to the Gundog because they were a screw-up in some way, or tough to deal with. Well, showing their exemplary performance, they're getting what they all deserve. Appreciation. The Silvestrius will serve as the flagship of a new task force. Because of this, we are removing Cadet Dalton Grange from your instruction. But instead, Cadet Grange, you will be transferred to JCF R&D department, where you will receive appropriate support to develop your new compound into a viable weapon. Oh. Oh, thank you, ma'am. It's, right. That's, oh wait. There's things, there's so many voices. I don't know who these admirals on board are. They're just like adding in old man voices. Moving on to Warrant Officer Dylan Dees. You didn't do much. We have reviewed your request and have decided that it is in JCF's best interest to give you an honorable discharge from the fleet. Oh, wow. He's done. He's just done with this shit. Good call, ma'am. The keyword honorable, so like, you know what? Head pats. Your stipend and freedom are, of course, dependent on your ensuring that you do not disclose any information about what happened. Consider the matter highly classified. Don't worry about that, ma'am. Not planning on thinking about this anytime soon. As for Miss Lord, typically a mutiny against your commanding officer would result in your execution. Nanny. All the evidence is... Quiet, please, Miss Lord. However, we do understand that due to the rapid developments and confusing nature of events, it did appear that the crew of the ship could have been involved in a conspiracy. Had that been confirmed as the case, you would have followed the appropriate protocol by removing Captain Bartimus from command. Given this, the inquiry has decided to be lenient. You will instead be placed under house arrest, pending further investigation. Understood. Thank you, ma'am. Oh, again, ma'am. Like, I keep putting an old man voice. Oh, I almost forgot. Dr. Sifo Rosarium, due to his death in the line of duty, he will be given a posthumous 2-rank promotion. As we have been unable to contact any next of kin, the doctor will receive a public service before his ashes are spread in the Europa Military Memorial Gardens. Sorry, Doc. This judgment hereby concludes the inquiry to the events that happened on board the JCF Gundog between April 24th and 28th. All decisions are effective immediately. You are... One question before I leave, ma'am. Oh, Bartimus, go ahead. What is the plan regarding Lieutenant Dodgestar, Lieutenant Commander Quinn? I can assure you, Captain, finding those two is a top priority for us. I see. Thank you, Captain. As I was saying, you are dismissed. There was literally less than 30 minutes left. I should have just finished that last time, but I was so tired. Lol. All these awesome people who worked in this game. I do look forward to seeing what else they come up with, because obviously it's called Stories from Saul, the Gun Dog, and as we can see there, as kind of open-ended. Because also there's a whole plan that there's going to be more stories from Saul, but the Gun Dog story is done, as is Lieutenant Dodgestar's story technically done, I guess. There's apparently other endings. Like if I didn't go after Cassie and just let her get taken. There's definitely other endings. Any other stuff, I'll probably like replay it myself. Try different things out. I can't believe it was actually that. I thought I maybe had an hour left at least. That was 30 minutes. Actually, not even that. I've been live for 29. There's 30 now. And the recording, yeah, the recording part's only 25 minutes. So that was like 25 minutes. It was like 25. Oh, wow. Like the previous part is like so long, and then this part's just gonna be boom, you're like 30 minutes. La 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 la. I should have just finished it last time. The last stream I went for so long though. And in hindsight, I should have ended the previous stream sooner, and then would have had more to continue with. It's hard to judge. Like a game you've never played before, it's hard to judge where your ending is. I thought that hearing might have gone on a bit longer than that. I wonder if there's anything after the credits, like a wee hint to what's going to happen. I mean, there will definitely be other stories from Saul. They plan to do that. So I'm going to be keeping my eye on Space Colony Studios and seeing, you know, and also just recommending this to everyone. Like, this is a game worth getting. For just like a wee lovely little retro point and click adventure. Which is really, really nice. I definitely want to see what they do next. Like, where will they pick up the story? I imagine see you again on the Gundog soon. Oh? Oh? What do you mean on the Gundogs again? I thought the Gundog story was done. Huh. Interesting. Interesting. Will there be more stories in the... Well, I suppose the Gundog story's done. Bartimaeus and Lord. They're both on house arrest pending a further investigation. Chief is being assigned to the flagship of a new task force as chief engineer. Dylan has said to say, hey, I'm done, I'm out. You know, Cadet Garage. You know, he's now in R&D for trying to develop that compound into a weapon. In case we have to fight any more of those things in the future, which we probably will. With Hansen and Haru. We pilots as part of this new task force, so straight away, there's at least 3 characters. The Chief, Hansen, and Haru, probably all going to be part of this new task force. I want to assume that those 3 will appear again in a future story. I think Lord deserves to be locked up. And Bartimaeus, maybe when she gets help for her alcoholism, maybe able to, you know, basically maybe keep commanding the Gundog for new crew. Or maybe she get promotion to a bigger ship. Who knows? I imagine like any future story from Soul probably take place as part of the new task force, maybe. Maybe from a different point of view entirely. I wonder if there's an ending for actually able to apprehend that person and save Cassie. I wonder. Something for me to figure out in the future. Right, and screen over here. So that's that done. So in terms of like achievements, let's have a look. Finish the game. There is 2 achievements are named, and 6 more are hidden. So there's a bunch of stuff still we discover in this game. Under global achievements. I'm curious. Okay, 32% have one of the hidden ones. Oh, okay, that one makes sense. Okay, there's an achievement I should have. Oh no, that's why I don't have it. I realized I had to get these to get the passcode for that one. Okay, that's an Easter egg. Oh. Well, there's some fun. Interesting. I'll definitely play it again in my own time. Get those other endings or other bits and bobs. As for right now, though, that was incredibly short, so we'll switch over to Xenoblade. But if you're watching this part on YouTube, the recording, thanks for watching. Hit that like and subscribe button. And then come over here on Twitch and see me live. Alright, I will go to the ending screen, but not actually ending. And then switch over to Xenoblade. I'll go to ending screen for a few seconds, just for the recording, and switch to BRB screen, and then go back for Xenoblade. Yes, that makes sense. Right. See you in a bit.